I want to ask you something, and I want you to actually sit with it for a second before you keep listening. Why are you doing social media? Not what are you posting, not how often, not which platform you've decided to focus on this month. Just why? What is it actually supposed to do for your business? Because if the honest answer is somewhere between I know I should be and everyone keeps telling me I need to, then you're in good company. That's the answer I get from most agents when I actually push them on it. And I think it's worth talking about because that answer, as innocent as it sounds, is quietly causing a lot of problems. And here's what I see all the time. I'm Clint, and this is Creativity That Converts, the show where we unpack the art and strategy of using video to grow your business. This is the space to learn what's working, what's changing, and how to create content that really connects. No fluff, no ego, just real talk that gets results. Welcome to Creativity That Converts. Agents who are genuinely putting in the work, showing up consistently, filming videos, writing captions, posting stories, doing everything they've been told to do by their coach, by the principal, by the industry. And on the surface, it looks like it's working. The views are ticking up, the likes are there, people are commenting, the numbers are moving in the right direction. But then something happens, something that doesn't quite make sense. Someone who has watched every video, liked all your posts, been in the comments, followed along for months. Well, that person's just listed with another agent. And the agent is left sitting there thinking, what was the point of all of that? I've had agents describe that moment to me many times. And honestly, it's deflating. I can see that. Because you did the work, you showed up, you were consistent, and it still didn't convert. So here's the thing though. That outcome, it wasn't random. It was almost predictable. Not because the agent was doing social media badly, but because nobody ever helped them get clear on what social media was actually supposed to do. And there's a really important difference between content that builds an audience and content that builds a business. Most agents have never been shown that difference and where each one fits in. So before you start thinking the problem is your content or your consistency or that video that just doesn't work in your market, I want you to hear this. It's probably not any of those things. What's more likely is that nobody has ever sat you down and helped you get clear on what your content is actually supposed to achieve. And more importantly, how to know whether it's achieving it. The industry has spent years telling agents they need to be on social media, but almost nobody has explained what's it actually for. And I think that's where the real issue sits. Most agents are creating content that gets attention, but attention and familiarity are two completely different things. Attention is someone watching your video and scrolling on. Familiarity is someone watching your video and thinking, that's the person I want selling my home. And here's what I find interesting about that. The goal was never the views. It was never the likes. It was never the follower count. The goal was always to become the agent that somebody already trusts before they even reach out to you. But if nobody told you that, and the measure of success was always the view count, always the reach, always the engagement rate, then you've been optimizing for the wrong thing. And you probably wouldn't even know it because the numbers look fine, the content's going out, people are watching, it just isn't converting. And I've worked with agents who were pulling thousands, if not millions of views on their content, genuinely impressive numbers by every visible measure. It looked like social media was working. But when we actually sat down and looked at what was happening, the people watching weren't being moved anywhere. There was no next step, no connection between the content they were consuming and the decision to pick up the phone. And the proof came in the hardest way possible. Agents started noticing people in their comments, people who had liked everything and watched everything, being consistently engaged for months with you, and then they list with someone else. Not because they didn't know the agent, they clearly did, but the content had never given them a reason to choose them. Millions of views and the listing went somewhere else. That's not a content problem. That's a strategy problem. And it stays completely invisible until you know what you're actually looking for. And when agents get clear on this, when they really understand what their content is supposed to do and how to tell whether it's doing it, something shifts. The content gets sharper, the effort becomes more intentional, and instead of chasing numbers, they start building the kind of familiarity that makes someone think that I already know who I'm calling. I don't need to interview 3 agents. I don't need to go to Rate My Agent and read through reviews. I've been watching this person for months. I already know that's what content that converts actually looks like. Not more posts, not better production, not a bigger following. A clear purpose and a way to measure if it's working. So here's where I want to leave you. Think about the content you've been putting out, not the views, not the likes. Is it actually moving people towards your business, or is it just keeping them entertained? Because there's a really simple way to find out. We built a scorecard specifically for this. It takes a few minutes, literally 3 minutes, and it'll show you clearly where your content is working and where it isn't. You'll find the link in the show notes or head over to myvideoproducer.com.au/links, and it's right there waiting for you. Go and do it now while this is on your mind, because the agents who know where the gaps are can actually fix them. The ones who don't, just keep posting, keep getting the views, and keep watching their potential clients list with someone else. That's it for this week, and I will see you next week with another podcast.